The 2023 MLB playoffs begin this Tuesday, and that means it's time for one team to reign supreme and win a World Series ring. And today, I'm here to tell you why your favorite team will not be winning this ring. Well, I guess one team does have to win it, so at least one of these takes will be wrong, but hey, I can own up to that. However, there are 18 teams that I can definitely say will not be winning the World Series, and those are the teams that missed the playoffs. Special shout out to the Cubs for choking like 15 games in a row and missing even though they had a really good chance. And I'll throw the Mets in there too for having the largest payroll in history and not even making it into June without being a laughingstock. But enough about the teams that didn't make it. Let's talk about why the 12 teams remaining will not be the one to win the World Series. The Rangers have blown 33 saves in 2023, which is the second most blown saves in the entire MLB. Only the Cleveland Guardians had more than them, and it was 34 instead of 33. So not too much of a difference there. The Rangers bullpen also had the highest ERA out of any team in the playoffs by almost half a run. Aroldis Chapman, their closer, has been terrible in his last 15 games and has been blowing save after save with Texas. However, there are a couple of bright spots like Jose Leclerc, who has been nasty all season and even better the last few outings. If they can overcome this bullpen, the Rangers can overcome anything. And if your favorite team has a better bullpen than the Rangers, then like and sub right now. If this video gets over 100 likes, I'll make a video talking about why every playoff team could win the World Series, so like the video right now and don't even consider not liking it. The American League's 1 seed was probably projected by absolutely no one. However, the Baltimore Orioles did not care about projections and won 101 games. However, this team is extremely young, and I just really don't think they have the experience to win in the postseason this season. It would be extremely fun if the Orioles went on a run, but when you face the defending champs like the Astros, it'll be tough for a team that has no experience to knock them off. Also, Baltimore will be without the best closer in the league in Felix Bautista. This will be a massive hit to their bullpen, obviously. I hope I'm wrong about this one, but I just don't think that I am. Speaking of the defending champs, the Houston Astros just managed to hang on and somehow get a first round bye, even after choking against 2 of the worst teams in the MLB. But even with a first round bye, I wouldn't say that the Astros are safe, and this is because of Christian Javier. Javier has been incredible in the postseason for the Astros and was one of the biggest reasons why the Astros have been so good in the past few postseasons. He has a career 2.2 postseason ERA in 14 appearances, but has heavily regressed this season, posting a 4.56 ERA. If Houston's secret weapon can't figure out his struggles in a hurry, I think he'll be watching the rest of the postseason from his living room. And based on Houston's home and road splits, he'll probably lose again there too. The Philadelphia Phillies don't have too many holes in my opinion. Well, except for the holes in all of their gloves. The Phillies defense is impressively bad, especially on the corners, outfield and infield. Giving a playoff team like the Braves extra outs is one of the worst things you can do. So the fact that the Phillies fielding is probably the worst in the league may hurt them. But if they can throw and catch the baseball like the professionals they are, they'll have a great chance. The Marlins confuse me. Seriously, I'm just confused with the fish from Miami. I want to think they're a dark horse scary team, but then their stats make them look kind of terrible for some reason. The rotation, not great, especially with Sandy Alcantara missing the postseason. The bullpen, the worst of the NL teams. The offense, they lack power and really don't homer. I just think the Marlins aren't great at anything, but aren't terrible at anything either. And that makes me like them more than I probably should. The Brewers pitching is the single best pitching staff in the entire league, with 3 true aces and a closer that is top 5. So I cannot say that the pitching is the issue. The offense, however, is fairly average. Like I said, the offense isn't bad, but it's just not very good compared to some of the powerhouse offenses in in the postseason. And if one thing is gonna stop the Brew Crew, it'll be the bats. The Rays have been absolutely demolished by injuries and other off-field problems caused by certain Wander Francos, and that's gonna be one of their biggest issues for their postseason hopes. Rays ace Shane McClanahan was having a Cy Young caliber season before sustaining a season-ending injury, and Wander Franco was having another special season before being placed on administrative leave. Along with Shane, there are 3 other starters that will also be out for the entire postseason: Jeffrey Springs, Shane Baz, and Drew Rasmussen. If that wasn't enough, there are another few bats that are currently injured, like Brandon Lau and Jose Siri, who might miss some of the playoffs, but either way, they'll be banged up if they do come back. The Rays definitely got hit with the injury bug pretty bad this season, but can they survive? The Blue Jays have been dangerously inconsistent this season, which is a problem with most teams in the MLB. However, with the Blue Jays, it's worse. The Jays are basically good in just about every aspect of the sport, so it was a little tough to pick one thing that would hurt them, but their inconsistency is a real issue. If they hit one of their cold patches against the wrong team, they'll probably be looking forward to 2024. Also, I still can't get over their 2022 collapse in the playoffs. That was insane. The Dodgers' starting pitching is a serious problem. 3 of their 5 starters that ended their season in the rotation were rookies, in Bobby Miller, Ryan Pepio, and Emmett Sheehan. The other 2 are Clayton Kershaw, who has had overly documented postseason struggles, although I think those are a little bit exaggerated, and Lance Lynn, who has had a very bad season. Oh look, he just gave up another home run on his day off. Walker Buehler, Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, and also Julio Urias will be missing all of October with injury, except for Urias, who has a much worse reason. Unless the rookies can quickly become veterans and the vets can turn back the clock, the Dodgers are going home. The Twins really enjoy striking out, like more than they enjoy hitting home runs, I think. They strike out at the highest rate compared to any other team in the MLB, which is really gonna hurt them in the postseason. Putting the ball in play and making the other team play proper defense is an extremely important aspect of winning in October. The Twins just don't do that enough to win. If the Twins stop striking out, they might be able to win their first playoff game since 2004. The Arizona Diamondbacks have to be one of the most surprising teams of the 2023 season. Somehow they beat out the Giants and Padres, but sadly, I think their underdog run will be ending fairly shortly. The Diamondbacks just feel like they aren't ready yet, and that's okay, because they're ahead of their rebuild, jumping from 74 wins in 2022 up to 84 wins in one season, with many of their top prospects still in the minors, but again, I just really don't think that they're ready to make the jump all the way to the finish line. Either way, Diamondbacks fans should be very happy with how their season has gone for the Snakes. The final team that I need to talk about is the favorite of the entire playoffs, so it's certainly not easy to find an issue with this team. But I found one. I think the rotation might be the thing that holds back the Atlanta Braves, if anything. The rotation is good, but there are other teams that have a better one, especially with the recent injuries. Max Fried and Charlie Morton both got injured recently, and it sounds like Fried should be good to go for the NLDS, but it sounds like Morton might be missing the first round. Bryce Elder is also worse than his stats show. His metrics are just very not good. If one thing is gonna hold back this team destined to become a dynasty, it'll be their 2023 pitching staff. If you liked any part of this video, please like and subscribe, because this channel is very new and less than 1% of my viewers are subbed to this channel. So if you want to see more MLB content like this, subscribe. Thank you.